The first card you have, your past, is Justice. I'm seeing some kind of get together, some kind of meeting, some kind of talk or something like that. I'm seeing, yes, a conversation or something like that. I'm seeing this was very, very stressful, whatever this was. I'm seeing, there was a lot of anticipation as well leading up to this meeting. It was very, very stressful. And this was kind of conversation that had to happen. It really had to happen. Things had to be said. There was no getting around this. The anticipation was probably a lot worse than the actual conversation. But it was a very difficult conversation anyway. I'm not saying that this wasn't difficult. It really, really was. It was very stressful, very painful. There might have even been tears or things like that going on in this conversation because I'm seeing a lot of emotion around this. Both you and this person who were involved in this conversation, I'm seeing you had things that you were you wanted to see justice with them. You were kind of judging them on things. And the same with you. They were feeling the same way about you. So you were very stressed going into this, that you were going to be kind of judged and really treated unfairly. They felt the same way. This meeting actually wasn't as bad as you imagined it was going to be. I mean, obviously it wasn't fun. It was very stressful. But it also wasn't as bad as you were imagining. It was bad. I mean, I'm not saying that it was fine. It was terrible. But what I'm saying is the anticipation was actually worse than the actual thing, the actual conversation. I'm feeling a lot of sadness around this. I'm feeling very sad around this. Very kind of sober, very kind of quiet, very subdued. It was very difficult, a lot of stress as well. And I'm seeing that things probably won't ever be the same again between you and this person after this happened. Probably never again. But, generally this conversation was one that needed to be had. It was a good one to have had. Not that it was a good conversation, but it was good in the way that, it was done. It was over and done with and it needed to be done, that kind of thing. So the things that were said, again, the things that were said had to be said. And, just so that you could both move forward, you just had to say what you had to say. They had to say what they had to say. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have, your past, is the Empress. So yes, this was a really, really difficult conversation. This was a really difficult time that you went through, both of you. I'm seeing, a very long, difficult lead up to this conversation. It might have been months and months lead up to this, a very stressful time. You weren't getting along. There are a lot of problems and things like that. I'm also seeing that, yes, there was a lot of difficult and sad things that were going on for a long, 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 long time. Maybe months, maybe years. And, the stress was really, really difficult and things needed to be said. I'm seeing that again. And, I'm seeing that after this all happened, obviously you're still very sad after this all happened, but, you just needed to take care of yourself. You just needed to nurture yourself. That's what I'm seeing with the Empress here. And obviously it wasn't easy, even though you were kind of resting after this. Yes, you did rest, you did take care of yourself. But of course, there were times when you were feeling very, very upset. Of course, there were times where you were like that. There might still be times like that right now when you're feeling upset, because this took a lot. This is going to take a lot of getting over. That's what I'm seeing. So yes, at this time, you're just doing whatever you could to get through this. If this meant being by yourself for a while, if this meant watching your favourite shows or eating unhealthy food or whatever it was, you did whatever you could to get through this. You just tried as hard as you could to do whatever you could to get through this really difficult time. And you were gradually getting through this. You were just starting to at this time. The last card you have, your past, is the Nine of Swords. So while you were very slowly getting through this, it wasn't easy, of course, but you were getting there very slowly. The other person who had this conversation with you, they were really, truly struggling with this even more. It was like, during the day, they were kind of keeping up with everything. They were pretending things were fine. They were doing everything they had to do. But at night, things were a lot worse for them. Things came out at night. They couldn't sleep. They had so many problems going on. I'm not seeing them regretting having this conversation and coming to this ending with you. I'm not seeing them regretting that, because I'm seeing that they knew that this was something that had to happen as well. And, they knew this, you knew this, but it still hit them very, very hard. It was still very sad, very, very sad for both of you. So the first card you have, your present, is the Two of Swords. So yes, I'm seeing that, there still could be maybe some loose ends that need to be tied up between you and this person. There might still be some things that you both need to sort through before you can totally move on properly from this person. There might be things you need to go to together. There might be things you'd agreed to do together before this all happened. And, you're probably not ready emotionally to really do that yet. You're just not ready to really even see them or really see anyone who reminds you of them at this time. It's that serious. It's just too soon. It's just too soon to really do anything. So yes, the woman on this card, she's wearing a blindfold and she's holding these swords so that nobody can come near her. So it's not that you don't want anyone to come near you. It's not like you're a complete hermit. It's that you don't want to be reminded of this person. You just don't want any reminders near you of this person at this time. Now, eventually you're going to be okay, eventually. But yes, at this time it was way, way, way too soon. The next card you have, your present, is the Chariot. So yes, even though you're still kind of recovering, which I'm feeling all the way through this card, I'm feeling this very slow, very painful recovery. You still have to get on with your day-to-day life, of course. You have to get on with your work or whatever else you need to do throughout your day. So you're still being gentle with yourself. You're still taking care of yourself. You're still doing a lot of self-care, which is what you really need to do. But in your workplace and everywhere else, I'm just seeing you kind of really just holding yourself together as much as you can, holding your emotions in as much as you can, really trying really hard to do that. And this is what you need to do to kind of get yourself through the days. You're very determined not to let your emotions take over, or at least show while you're doing things and you're at work and doing whatever. On the inside, obviously, it's a different story. So you're holding everything in, and then when you get home, that's when you let everything out. And that's when you really do work through things. It's not easy to go through this pain, but you are working through this pain. You're letting the pain happen. You're working through it. And that's how you're going to get through this. It's not easy. I know it's very, very hard, very horrible. The last card you have, your present, is the Four of Wands. So you could be visiting somewhere, or you could be coming back to a place where you feel at home, maybe spending time with family or close friends, or just people who you feel very comfortable around. So if this resonates, I hope this is what you're really doing, because self-care is really what you need at this time. And there isn't a time limit on it. You might be thinking to yourself sometimes, oh, I should be feeling better, or I'm going to look silly if I say to my friends, I can't go out, I'm not ready. They're going to laugh, or they're going to think I'm silly. Nobody's going to think that. And if they are, well, they're the silly person, because there's no time limit on getting over things. You need to take care of yourself. There's no shame in it. There's nothing wrong with it. And you've been through a traumatic experience. You've been through a very stressful time. So just let yourself get through this. Take all the time you need. Do whatever you need to do. That's what I'm seeing with that card. The first card you have, your future, is the Magician. I love this card. This is a fantastic card. So I'm seeing you putting your mind and putting your energy into something very creative at this time. You're still quite emotional at this time. Obviously, you're still working through things, but this is really good. This is going to kind of, what I'm seeing is when you start doing this, you might only see this as something that you're doing to maybe take your mind off things and put your mind to other things. Think about something different. But whatever this is, this could actually transform your mind and maybe even your life into new ways, into new things. It could be something that starts off as being a hobby, but eventually it turns into something like a business or something really big, something really huge, actually. Anything can happen with the magician. So I'm seeing something very creative, something that's very personal to you, and it comes from you. So as you get into producing whatever this is and doing whatever this is, I'm seeing there's going to be a lot of interest around this thing. There's going to be a lot of popularity around this, around what you're doing. I'm actually seeing people wondering how you do this. There are going to be people saying, how does this person do this? This looks impossible. How do they do this? And that's what happens with the magician. People look at them and they say, how do they do this? So, yes, I'm seeing this could be something very lucrative as well if you want to turn this into a business, and you might want to do that. The magician can turn one thing into another thing, and it could become something very magical. So, whatever you want to do with this thing, whether you want to turn it into a business, whether you want to just be popular and have lots of people talking about you, or whether you just want to keep this as a hobby, you can do whatever you want because you have the magician. You can achieve whatever you want out of this. And this is also going to help you to get over this person. It's not going to happen overnight, obviously, but it is going to happen because your mind is going to be on this thing. So the next card you have for your future is the Queen of Cups. So as you start to pick yourself up and as you start to move forward with your life, and you do have a lot of really exciting things ahead of you in your life because you have the Magician card. So this thing that you're doing is going to kind of spring, a whole lot of other things are going to kind of spring from that, and it's going to be very exciting. It's going to take the person that you left behind a lot longer to get over things. They're still going to be very emotional at this time. And again, they're still not going to be letting anyone know that this is how they're truly feeling. They're not going to be letting themselves work through things. And that's probably why it's going to be very hard for them to get over this a lot longer. It's going to take them a lot longer than it is going to take you to get over this. So if you look at this queen on this card, she's very, very emotional. She's staring at this cup. But this cup has a lid on it. So this person's still going to have a lid on their emotions. They're not going to be sharing their emotions. They're not going to be working through their emotions by themselves. They might be drowning themselves out. They might be doing things like drinking. They might be doing things like going off and partying. They might be doing all sorts of crazy things. But because they're not processing their emotions properly, it's going to take them a lot longer to get through this, and they're going to be in even more pain. It's not going to look like it to the outside world, but that's what it's going to be like inside their mind and inside their heart. The last card you have, your future, is the Three of Wands. So yes, be aware of this. Be aware of this. I'm seeing something's about to happen. Now, if this is all resonating with you, yes, I'll say this. This person might try to come back to you. This person might try to come back to talk to you. They might try to start things up with you again even. They might try to get back together even. This could be because they're still going through their emotions. They're still going through a lot of pain. They're not thinking clearly at this time. So, you might want to say yes to them. You might want to get back and talk to them again. You might want to be friends with them again. You might even want to get back together with them again. I don't think this is a very good idea. Now, I don't want to tell you what to do. Obviously, you should do whatever you want to do. But I'm seeing if you do go back together, you're only going to face all of these problems again, and they're going to surface again. If you do become friends again, I think it's going to be very difficult because you've had a very turbulent time, a very turbulent relationship with this person. It's going to be very difficult for you to see them as a friend. And it's going to be difficult for them to see you as a friend as well. I'm sorry, I'm really getting a croaky voice. I'm getting very tired. But, and also I just think they're just going to be postponing the inevitable, which is getting over this. It's something they're going to have to do. They're going to have to get over this, and they're just postponing it. They're just looking for something to make themselves feel better. You're not medicine. You're not medicine, you're a person. You're not there to make them feel better. That sounds very harsh, but you're doing everything you can to get over this. They need to do that as well. And if they use you to try and feel better, it's only going to make them feel worse in the long run. So it isn't the right thing. But again, you might think differently. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing here.